And Kenny Rogers is here today to sing for you a song called The Gambler.
On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns staring at the darkness at the window till boredom overtook us, and he began to speak. He said, "Son, I've made my life out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. And if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bombed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. Said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done." Now every gambler
Country music. I just love the way they tell stories, man. But this time around, it's a story, but at the same time, I think it's a story that is like a metaphor. You know, you can read so much into it. I mean, what I see here, he says the gambler, and all that, like, you know, the poker face. You have to know when to hold, when to fold, and all that. You know, I see a bigger picture. I think he's trying to tell the boy about life in general. You know, how you were supposed to, you know, live your life. You know when to stay away from trouble. You know when to, like, walk away. You know how to read people, how to read situations. You know, I think he was just talking about life in general. So I don't think this is just about, he might have been a gambler, but I think he was trying to educate the boy about life, you know, from his experience, you know, and that things are not always what they seem. So you have to take your time to analyze the situation. That's what I get from this so far. But I hope I didn't jump the gun. Let's go get more. Sounding good. And Kenny Rogers' voice, man, he sounds amazing here, man. Beautiful. And this is live, man. He has an amazing voice, Kenny. Very distinct voice.
Now every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep. Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best you can hope for is to die in your sleep. When he finished speaking, he turned back toward the window, crushed out his cigarette, faded off to sleep. Then somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal's done.
Beautiful. Yeah. Another line that I saw I read it and I heard it as well, that I liked is when he said, you never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be plenty of time to do that when the deal is done, And once again, even though I know that applies to gambling, for me, what that is saying is like in life, don't sit down and admire your laurels whilst you're still, while you're still like pushing for that goal or working towards that goal. It's like when you get to where you're going to, there's plenty of time for you to like look back and say, oh yeah, I did that, because a good example is just like it's like maybe a sportsman. This is an example, right? And it's like you get your first contract and you think, yeah, I've arrived, I'm a big guy now, and you start like ego tripping. You could lose all that tomorrow. So there'll be plenty of time for you to ego trip when your career is done, when you've put in all the hard work, you're successful, and you can look back at your medals and say, oh yeah, I did good. And I think that's what I take from this song anyway. So for me, I didn't listen to it and think, oh, gambling, As soon as he started saying those words, I'm like to myself, this guy's trying to tell this guy about life. He's trying to teach him a lesson. And that's what I get from this song, The Gambler. Fantastic. And like I said, earlier, his voice here was just, he has an amazing voice, Kenny Rowe, just very distinct, And the guys backing him, there were some harmonies that I loved that, there was a part where there was this guy I kept hearing, he had a low register, a deeper voice. And he was singing like sounded beautiful, man. Beautiful. Beautiful song. I loved that and I enjoyed that. And I think I'm like going into a rabbit hole here in country music because I'm enjoying this. Initially I thought I'll do maybe 2 or 3 songs, but I can see myself doing more, and I loved that song that I discovered. The 2 songs actually that I love that I discovered. I think is it Alan Jackson? I'm not sure. He had a song called Remember When or something like that, yeah. And then there was like Judge Jones, He Stopped Loving Her Today. That just destroyed me, man. That was an amazing song. And I know there are more songs I'm going to discover, so I am so excited. Anyway, my dear friends, it's time to go. Now I'll have to take my leave and leave you guys, but I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If it was your first time, I hope it was a good experience for you. Was it good for you? Like it was for me? And I hope we see you here again as soon as possible. So like I always say, stay cool and stay safe. I shall see you at the next stop.